Hello and welcome back to Do It with Daisy. I'm Daisy. I'm a certified yoga instructor, an overall fitness enthusiast, and a proud dog mom. Waffles is usually in my videos, but she isn't joining us today because I don't want to get her all excited when I'm not actually making any treats yet. Because today I thought that it would be kind of fun to show you how I prep and get set up for each of our cooking videos.
Whoa, do it with Daisy. Whoa, do it with Daisy.
So I'm not the most decisive person in the world, and it is important to eat multiple meals per day. So I have my dog choose our meals for us. She has a talking button system, and so she pushes whichever meat she wants to eat, and then she pushes whichever vegetable she wants to eat. Today she said that she was tired. I don't have a button for that, but she was having a hard time with her words, so I asked her if she was tired, and she got so excited about that. So anyway, we kind of communicated back and forth and figured out that she really wanted chicken, but she doesn't care that much about the vegetables, too tired to choose. So the first thing I do is I measure out whatever protein we're eating. So today Waffles chose chicken, so I measured out however much chicken she needed, which was 300 grams, and then whatever's left over, I kind of put to the side so I know that that's what I will eat. I've kind of figured out throughout the last couple years of cooking food with her that I definitely eat less meat than she does. I can't. I've tried to eat as much or more meat as she does, and I can't do it. No trying to force my body to do things that it's just not ready for. So I eat less meat than she does, and that works out really well because if I get like a pound of whatever meat we're using, then she'll usually have most of it, but there'll be something left over to kind of spice up whatever I'm having. So that's how we figure out our protein. And then usually Waffles will choose a vegetable, and then I'll figure out a recipe that has both of those ingredients in it. Like if she said chicken and carrots, I would find a recipe that has chicken and carrots in it, and then we would figure out something to eat from there. But since she didn't pick a vegetable today, then I went ahead and chose something that I thought sounded delicious. I'm not usually the most decisive, but sometimes after a half hour of flipping between 5 different recipes, I can choose something. So I chose the chicken and couscous recipe that we got from our veterinary nutritionist, and it calls for chicken, obviously, and couscous, apples, chickpeas, and spinach. So I've got chickpeas that are left over from yesterday because we had chicken and chickpeas yesterday, and I always have spinach on hand. I always have apples and bananas. Always have to have apples on hand because it's part of my apples and bananas. You know, like when you're hungry, but you don't know what to eat, but you know you need to nourish your body and you have a little bit of a sweet tooth, apples and bananas are always the way to go. It's like the way of kind of giving into something sweet. I always add honey on mine. And knowing that you're getting a good amount of energy, of fiber, potassium if you're talking about bananas. I don't remember what apples have in them. They've got a lot of water content and some kind of a lot of natural sugars too. But I'd rather have natural sugars than processed sugars. So we've got apples, chickpeas, spinach, sunflower oil, salmon oil. I'm gonna keep in the refrigerator. I know I just need like a couple drops of it on Waffles at the end. And her supplements, which I'll also pour on at the end. The food has to already be cooked. Like we don't want to be putting in the nutrients and then having the nutrients cook off. That doesn't really make sense. We know what we're working with. We have our chicken measured out, and now we need to measure out the rest of our ingredients. We're going to need to have 130 grams of spinach, and when it's fresh like this, it's going to take up a lot of space. So I'm gonna get a much larger bowl for that. All right, big bowl. Spinach. So we're at 68 grams right now.
Food and fun, friends and laughter, Waffles is the star of the show. Tune in now.
Perfect. All right, so there's 130 grams of spinach. You're being a good girl, Waffles. So this is all the spinach that Waffles needs. It fills up the bowl itself, so I'm going to use that just for Waffles, which means that it's ready to be cut up. So I will go ahead and move my scale out of the way, and we're just gonna cut this all up.
Happy pop, 'cause it's time to have some fun with Daisy.
So now her spinach is all cut up, and I want to make sure that I measure out her chickpeas.
Do it with Daisy.
She doesn't need a whole lot. This is basically just to add a little extra fiber, I believe. Basically, the chickpeas in this recipe replace the grains. So see, she just needs 40 grams, which is like nothing in comparison to most of the ingredients that we need. And I'm gonna go ahead and set aside the chickpeas that we have left for me to use for my dish. And then I've also got couscous, but I've got to prepare that a little bit. So I will show you how to do that in another video. And then I've also got to prepare the apples. Basically, I just need to make sure that there's no peel and make sure that they're in small enough pieces to where no one's gonna be at risk of a choking hazard.
Do it with Daisy.
All right. So here are our chopped apples, and I've got Waffles. Hers are measured out. So I'll set those aside. And now that I've got my ingredients prepped, the next thing that I need to do, if I haven't decided while prepping my ingredients, is figure out kind of what I'm gonna be making. So they say don't wait until you feel inspired to get to the mat when you're doing yoga. It's the same thing in the kitchen. If you wait until you're inspired to get into the kitchen, then you're not gonna feel inspired. You'll be too lazy to cook, really craving processed foods, and it's really just best to get in the kitchen, get your hands on some raw, fresh ingredients, and see how it inspires you. So I've prepped my raw ingredients for the most part. I've still got to do my couscous, so stay tuned for that. But now I am far enough along in the process to where I can go ahead and I can have Waffles join me, and she is very anxious to do so. So I'm gonna go ahead and clear my space a little bit and have her join me. Okay, so we have all of our ingredients prepared now. We have our doughy here for the full inspirational effect. And now that I've really gotten my hands dirty, gotten my little love that I'm really preparing these meals for to really inspire me further, I am feeling very, very inspired. So I have a feeling I know what we're gonna do. A lot of these look like they're gonna make really good ingredients just for a couscous all on its own. So what I'm going to do is, I obviously need to cook my chicken. I definitely can't eat this raw, and realistically, this hasn't been prepared in a way that is safe for her to eat raw either. So I definitely need to cook this. Then after that, then I'm going to make like a chickpea spinach couscous with seasoned chicken. And mine's obviously gonna have a lot more seasoning than Waffles. Waffles will have like maybe a little bit of rosemary, if that, like she doesn't really need anything. But mine is definitely gonna have a shitload of rosemary. I want to get a lot of lemon in there, so I'll probably douse mine in rosemary and lemon juice. Pepper's really good on chicken. I'm not usually a big like ground pepper person, but it is really good on chicken, and I think it's gonna complement this dish beautifully. So yeah, see what I mean? Like once you really get in the kitchen, start getting your hands dirty, be thinking about who you're inspired by, then it really gets to be a lot of fun and it gets to be way more exciting. So yeah, we're gonna do a chicken couscous. The apples can just be eaten on the side, honestly. Like, I'm sure we'll steam them because since they are a part of Waffles' balanced recipe for the day and the recipe calls for them to be cooked, then I do need to make sure that I'm feeding at least these ones to her cooked. If I give her extras as a like supplemental treat, then those ones can be raw. However, right now, Waffles, she's still a little hefty from the last time that we kind of lost our self-control and went overboard in treats and such. So she doesn't need extra treats. We're going to use our regular food as reinforcement because she's such a wonderful dog. So we are ready to get started cooking. I will show you this recipe in a fresh new video, and I will also talk to you a little bit more about using apples as a single ingredient treat in a separate video as well. For now, I hope that you had a really great time watching, and if you did, please make sure that you like this video and that you share it with a friend. And we will see you next week. Make sure that you're following me at Do It With Daisy.
Do it with Daisy.